Good evening, everyone. I'm trying a new format tonight. I'm going to be showing some of the Pokemon cards in my collection and talking about them, mostly the art. I'm not really talking about how useful they are in game because for most of these cards, I don't really have that context. I only played the game for a short time, and I only know the cards' gameplay values that were directly in my decks. So that'd be a few sets at the end of XY and beginning of Sun and Moon. But it's been a few years since I've played the game, so for the most part, I collect for the art. It's a new format, so we're probably going to go short tonight. And we'll see how it goes. These aren't the physical cards themselves you're going to see, but rather scans of them. Every scan image you're going to see is a scan of the exact copy that's in my collection books. I do all my own Pokemon scans for my collection cards. My collection's over 6,000 cards, so we're only going to see a very, very small percentage of the collection today. Less than 1%. Maybe not even. We'll see how it goes. Depends on how much I have to talk about each one. So we're gonna switch into the viewer now. And so let's go ahead and get started. And I have it set up to show random cards. That way I don't have to take the time scrolling through a folder of 6,000 cards trying to pick an interesting show. We'll just see what comes up. Is it not doing the slideshow? I'm in the wrong mode. Hold on. Alright, let's try this again. Alright. My studio's acting up. Hold on. It worked when I tested this before. Yeah, let me figure out what's going on here. Let's see if I go here. Now it should work. Yep, there we go. We fixed it. Alright, Snubble. This is the Snubble from Lost Thunder. It's kind of funny how he's just marching in a field of flowers. Not really much to say about this one. Snubble I always thought of as one of the creepy cutes. It's got cute aspects of its look. It's got aggressive and mean parts of its look as well. The color scheme I thought never really went with it. But, I mean, Snubble walking through flowers, that's not really the kind of thing you would associate a Snubble with doing. Kind of interesting. Catnia. This is the Catnia from Celestial Storm. It's a little cactus kid sitting in the desert. Really not much to say about it. Let's see, who's next? Ah, yes. I love this card. This is the Mewtwo Gx Full Art Promo that was in the, I think it was the Generations, not the Elite Trainer box, the, oh god, what was it called? The Super Collector box they released at the end of Generations. You know, the one with 10 packs, that art history book. There was a Mewtwo Promo Full Art and this Mew Promo Full Art. This is one of my favorite Mew cards in my collection, like one of my top 5 Mews. I really love this card. I could talk about this card all day. I never actually got the box. My nephews, back when they used to collect, Grandma got each of them a box, and then one of them saved up his allowance and bought a second box at League. And because he already had the promos, he traded me his second copy of the Mewtwo and Mew promos. But yeah, this was the first of several versions of Mew EX I had in my collection. And I like the rainbow background. The pose is both dynamic and adorable, and he looks cuddly, but also like he's about to start something. Just all around, pretty cool looking cards. One of my favorites that isn't in the Eevee book. Gloom. This is the Gloom from Cosmic Eclipse, I think that symbol is. Really just a Gloom taking a nap in the woods. Not much to say about it. Let's see the next card. Dangerous Drill. This is a trainer card from Team Up. Again, not much to say. After my nephews lost interest in the game, I stopped playing. And after a very disastrous pre-release, I think it was Celestial Storm, it could have been Lost Thunder, I pretty much stopped going to League after that. But I still collect, through the last year of Sun and Moon, I continue to collect. I got common, uncommon, rare, hollow sets of all the sets up until Cosmic Eclipse. When Sword and Shield started, I had to slash my budget, so I don't really have much Sword and Shield going on at all. But not much to say about this item, because it was just part of a stack of uncommons that I bought when Team Up came out. This card was for the collection, nothing more. Voltorb. This is the Evolutions reverse version. And you can tell with the Evolutions reverses on these scans because my scanner makes these ugly vertical scan lines on them. The scanner does similar scan lines with other reverse and shiny cards too. Just a matter of how it scans. Nothing we can really do about it, but it's cool because in the picture it tells me that, hey, this card I have the reverse version of. Anyway, this is a really cool Voltorb design. I like the colored neon lightning coming off of it. Well, surrounding it. It's a pretty fun design, and actually one of the oldest designs, because this was one of the many base set reprints in Evolutions. Oh, a note about Evolutions. I always thought it funny they released a set called Evolutions and didn't actually include Eevee or any of the Evolutions in it, because they're the ultimate in evolving stuff. Passimian. This is the Sun Moon base version of Passimian. Not much to say. He's a monkey. Looks like he's in a forest clearing holding some kind of fruit. Passimian's a cool character, but not much to say about this card in particular. Pukamuku. This one looks like Unified Minds. Pukamuku is one Pokemon that few people in my league struggled with the pronunciation. And for the first 2 years of Sun and Moon, there was only one Pukamuku card, and then they finally released, I think, 2 more in the final year of Sun Moon. Not really. It didn't really upset me that they didn't release too much of it. It's not that interesting a Pokemon, in my opinion. But this is a very cool illustration of 2 Pukamuku chilling on the beach. But what's it doing with its mouth? There's this weird... Hold on. I can't unsee that. Let's move on. Choice Band. Choice Band. I used this in one of my decks in early Sun Moon. This is from Guardians Rising. And this really helped when with a lot of the GX throughout Sun Moon were OP, so Choice Band was very helpful at the time. And I actually used this, I think, in most of my decks at the time. Spritzy from XY Base. Just a little flower fairy-ish Pokemon. Weird looking little fairy Pokemon chilling in a field. Not much to say here. A little pretty, but not really one of the more memorable Pokemon in my opinion. Bulbasaur. This is the Detective Pikachu version. And Detective Pikachu, that was a good movie. I went with my brother, who knew nothing about Pokemon. He thoroughly enjoyed the movie. It was nice. That was it. I don't want to spoil the movie in case some of you haven't seen it yet, but it did leave the door open for a potential sequel. And there was a scene where they go to a lab, and the lab is surrounded by a wildlife Pokemon conservation area, and that's where they encounter the Bulbasaurs. The Bulbasaur were pretty interesting looking. Actually, all the Pokemon, when converted to real life CG, were pretty interesting looking, but Bulbasaur was kind of adorable. A lot of the Pokemon were Uncanny Valley, borderline creepy, but Bulbasaur, they did well. I like the Bulbasaur. Kangaskhan. This is the Sun Moon based Kangaskhan. I remember this, I pulled it in reverse at first, but then I traded my reverse for a holo, for the holo version, at the same league where I pulled it. I think it may have been the Sun Moon pre-release tournament. I actually went to 2 Sun Moon pre-release tournaments because I knew 2 different stores at the time. And one of them, no, it was another one. I think it was, I can't remember because there was one store I only went to a couple times, but I think 2 of the 3 times I went there were in the context of a pre-release. I can't remember exactly, but I think this is the one I pulled as reverse at pre-release and then traded for the holo after the games. This is a pretty cool looking Kangaskhan. It's not my favorite Kangaskhan card, but it's up there. Tropius. This is the Tropius from Celestial Storm. You'll notice that the majority of my cards are from X, Y, and Sun and Moon, but I do have a handful of cards from the other eras as well, mostly filled in through trading or collecting singles. I am way behind on collecting the retro stuff and way behind on collecting the Sword and Shield stuff. My budget just has been non-existent, so there's actually over 7,000 Pokemon cards. Even though my Pokemon card collection is over 6,000 different cards, there's over 7,000 other cards I don't have yet. Tropius, not much to say. It's a plant Pokemon in what looks like a lightly forested area. Well, I think we'll be seeing a lot of Pokemon chilling in the forest. Arcanine. This is my Evolutions version of Arcanine. I do remember I have one of the Wizards Arcanines. I can't remember if it's this one or one of the other ones. But I do know I have a Wizards era Arcanine, a genuine one. But this is the Evolutions reprint. It's a fire dog. It's a tiger-striped fire dog chilling in a field. There's not much else to say about this art, but it sure looks cool. Clefable. This is the Breakpoint Clefable. And he looks like he's dancing on a magic portal. I should say she, shouldn't I? I'm not sure. I'm not sure with Pokemon genders. That's a topic that I've never been too terribly clear on. I know most Pokemon can go both ways, even if they look one way or another, but Clefable. So yeah, that Clefable definitely looks like it's dancing on some kind of magic portal. Oh, and I just noticed this for the first time, even though I've had this card for years. The 2 magic effects on his side, you can see them here and here, make the shape of a heart. I never noticed that on this card before. That's interesting. And of course the giant moon in the background, because the Clefairy family is associated with the moon. Karate Belt. This is from Unified Minds. Unified Minds was after I stopped playing, so this is a card that I don't really have much experience with. But if there was a real Karate Belt that close to fire, it would burn up. So it's a cool looking card, but not very realistic. Execute. And this actually is one of my retro Wizards cards. You can tell by the jungle icon on it. As far as Wizards arts go, this is on the more boring side, but still, as a Wizards card showing up when I don't have a lot of Wizards cards, this is still pretty cool. Wizards cards are always cool, even when the art is a little boring. But really, there's not really much you can do to make Execute art look really exciting. I do hope the randomizer gives us some more of the special cards. There's a lot of really cool stuff in my collection. And right now we're getting a lot of commons and uncommons. Sorry about that. That's what happens when we let the randomizer pick for us, but it's going to be a thing that happens. So, and one day when I can afford to do this for a few hours, maybe we'll see a whole lot of cool stuff. I mean, I have a whole lot of shiny stuff in my collection. Speaking of, this is one of my very few retro holos. I don't have a lot of retro holos. I think I have 5 or 6 Wizards, and even less from the Gen 3 era. This is from Team Rocket Returns, it looks like, the Dark Dragonite. And this was actually, I had a friend in one of my meetup groups, and he learned that I had been collecting Pokemon cards. And it turns out he had a small collection he had collected for a few months when he had been younger in the Generation 3 era. And he hadn't thought about his collection in years, but he saw me buying Pokemon cards. And next meetup, he actually gave me his collection at no cost. And then last year, COVID took that friend. So this particular card is linked to sad memories for me. But it's a very cool looking Dragonite. Because of the memories of my friend, even though I have some technically cooler Dragonites in my collection, this is probably my favorite Dragonite in my collection. I'd better move on before I start crying on stream. Brock's Training. This is from Hidden Fates. Not much to say about this version of the card. The way Hidden Fates worked, there was a very tiny main set, all Generation 1 stuff, and then there was a subset of shiny cards, all in the reverse slot, and they were like not the shiny set included a whole bunch of super and ultra rares, and was like twice as big as the main set. So if you wanted to collect Hidden Fates, you would end up with a spam amount of everything from the main set, and the main set mostly was unplayable. But all the cool stuff was in the shiny set. But you ended up with these stacks of unplayable cards, and this was one of them. As for the art, it's a pretty cool art. Shows a boy hanging out with his Pokemon. Actually, it shows a boy showing affection towards his Pokemon. In a way, this artwork reminds me of me and my dog. It's pretty cool. Some of these artworks remind me of real life things, like this one and me and my dog. He's actually visiting us for the week. Voltorb. This is the Plasma Freeze Voltorb. I've always liked Plasma Freeze because that set had a unique theme running through most of its art, where a lot of the cards show the city covered in ice and Pokemon just chilling in the ice. Pun definitely intended. So yes, this Voltorb is just hanging out in this icy town. Well, that looks like an icy power plant. But a power plant would be the right place for a Voltorb, so I guess it makes sense. This is because of the ice. This is probably one of my cooler Voltorb cards. There's really not much you can do to make Voltorb look exciting, but this card does that. Erica Stratini from Gym Heroes, I think. I sometimes get Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge confused because the set symbol is the same, just with black-white color swap. I collected this after I stopped playing. This is another Wizards era card. I like this card because the art is simple but elegant. It's got a nice little bright light in the background, and it's up to the viewer's interpretation whether it's a light bulb in a dark room, or a star, or some other light of some kind. And the Dratini's just chilling there against that against the dark background and the light. I like the composition of this picture. Nothing fancy, but totally elegant. One of the reasons why I picked this one up. This was actually one of the last cards I was able to get before I had to temporarily suspend my collecting budget. Jinx. And you can tell from the shine, this is a reverse. This is the Hidden Fates version of Jinx. Jinx is throwing magic hearts at you. I've never really been a big fan of Jinx, but this artwork with the magic hearts is kind of adorable. I say kind of because Jinx always gives me creepy vibes, even when it's trying to be cute. Let's move on. Janmega. This is an XY promo. This is one of the Steam Siege promos. And in XY, most of the sets were, there was a fixed pre-release promo, and I think it was Breakthrough or Breakpoint. I can't remember which one exactly, where they switched to the 1 of 4 random, where there were 4 random pre-release promos for each set, and you would get 1 randomly in your kit. I actually collected all the pre-release promos. That's one of the priority aspects of my collection, is pre-release promos. And even with my suspended budget, I tried to do that with Sword and Shield at first. But because I had to totally shut down, I don't have any pre-release promos from Vivid Voltage on. So that's something I'm going to correct once I start collecting again. But Janmega is... I only have pre-release promos going back as far as Flashfire, the second set in XY, because prior to that, they were exact art, they were same art reprints of a card in the set, just with the set name stamped on it. But then Flashfire, it was an alternate art with a promo number with a set name on it. And then during the break year is when they went to the 4% format. As far as the art, it's pretty cool. While the Pokemon itself is clear, you can't really tell what's going on in the art because of all the highlights on it. Lycanroc Gx, Day Mode, full art. Burning Shadows, of course. Not much to say about this one. This is one I traded for with my nephews. My nephews collected up through... I think it was Ultra Prism Forbidden Light. By Celestial Storm they had quit, but I know they had a few Forbidden Light cards. So this was towards the end of them going to League. But I remember trading. I traded for this card with one of my nephews. I think I had the other Lycanroc, the Guardians Rising one, the Night Lycanroc. I had 2 copies of that full art somehow. I traded one to my nephew for the full art Day Lycanroc from Burning Shadows. I like this art. Not much to say about GX full arts. I like the plain background they did. After the busy looking level X and EX cards of the 2 immediately prior eras, I felt the GX full arts were kind of clean with their plain colored backgrounds. Though the GX regular arts I thought were pretty cool too, because the GX regular arts actually show the Pokemon in dynamic action poses, much like the EXs did. But the full arts, simple and elegant. I like the way they did them in GXs. Misty's Cerulean City Gem, another Hidden Fates trainer. Not much to say about this one. It's a stadium card. You can't even see any characters in there. Not much to say about this one. You can tell it's reverse. When they do the special seasonal sets, I try and do the regular set reverse, except for the hollows. The hollows I like to have hollow. But any card that's not hollow in the regular set, I like to get reverse. This isn't for primary sets. For main standard sets, I pick and choose what I want to have reverse and what I want to have regular. Meowth. This is a Wizards Era promo. I can't remember if I traded for this one at League or if I bought this one out of the... There was at the comic book and gaming store where we went to League. They had a book up front. Somebody had sold them their collection of Wizards Era Hollows, and I can't remember if I bought this from the store or if I traded. I do know I acquired it during a League session. I just don't remember if I traded for it or I bought it. But even though you can't see the background on this because the scanner, the scanner overdoes the hollow sparkles. You'll notice that in a lot of hollow cards, so I can't really see the background. But the Meowth's pose is pretty cute. I like the way it's just winking at you. Meowth has always had a little bit of a mischievous streak, and I think this pose captures it perfectly. I only have a few Wizards Hollows. I have like 5 or 6, but this is if this is not my Wizards, my favorite Wizards Hollow, it's one of them. Team Magmas Claydoll. Not much to say about this one. It's a Claydoll hanging out at what looks like a volcano. This is another one from my late Meetup Friends collection. I'm not going to stay on this one too long. Toxicroak. This is the Forbidden Light version. Not much to say about this one. I don't really have a story with this one. It's kind of interesting, this the way he's manipulating that purple liquid. I can't tell what that purple liquid is supposed to be, but he looks like he's ready to start something. No, he looks like he's already in the middle of starting something. I like action poses as long as they're not too overdone. Because the chill poses are nice, but the action poses tell you that these Pokemon, they demonstrate that Pokemon is a battle game, and a lot of the cards just don't capture that battlefield, whereas this one I feel does. So I do, in a way, sometimes prefer the action poses, but sometimes they just look too busy. Flabebe, little fairy flower chilling in a field. This is the breakthrough version. It's reverse. Not really too much to say about this one. I'll move on. Shining Arceus. Shining Legends. Okay. I think that was the second of their annual holiday sets. Shining Legends was a lot of fun. I remember my nephews and I were racing to see who could collect all 9 of the Shinings first. And it was a little bit of a tricky matter because 3 of the Shinings were box promos, 2 of which were exclusive to the $100 box. I ended up trading for mine of those 2 at League, because somebody at League had managed to get 2. And so yeah, and then there was the other promo was the League Trainer Box promo, the Ho-Oh, and that one was dirt cheap, and then there were 6 in the actual set, and Arceus was one of them. And the Shinings were mostly non-playable, but they did this thing with the Shinings where most of the card was regular, but instead of having a hollow background like most hollow cards, the Pokemon itself was hollow, but not the background. And it was also textured, but the Pokemon itself, not the background like on other textured cards. And it was unique to the set, and it was unique to those 9 specific cards, the 6 in the set and the 3 promos. And the way the light hit the Shinings, it was unique and it was almost hypnotic. And so for a while, I had one of the 9 pocket. I used books with the 9 pocket pages, and there were exactly 9 of these things. So I just made the front page of the book these 9 cards, and I remember whenever I needed a quick pick-me-up, I would open up that book, shine a light on it, and watch the magical way the light reflected back off those 9 cards. They have since been moved into their actual character pages, so they're not all together. But if I ever go to a Pokemon event again and use my spare book to make kind of a collection highlights display book, I'm thinking about doing that. Maybe my pre-release promos, some of my full arts. My Eevee book, that's all dedicated, so that won't be torn apart for a collection display book. If I go to an event, that'll just go with me. There's a lot to say. I have a lot of memories with Shining Legends. But pertaining to this specific card, there's not really much. So most of the stories are related to other specific cards in that set. So we'll get to those if they come up. Blaine's Arcanine. Okay, so this is the Wizards era Arcanine I had. And I think this is my only holo. This is my only holo from either of the gym series, I believe. I might have... No, I have one other gym holo. I can't remember which one. I don't remember how I got this. I think I traded for this one. And... well, I told you it was going to be a short stream today because I'm testing in this new format. I'll probably be back with this format again tomorrow to test it some more, but I want to end on a really cool card, so let's go a few more and see if something really cool comes up. So I want to end on a really good story if I can. So yeah, this one I know for a fact I traded at League. But I can't remember the details of specific trades. Like, I kind of know which ones I traded for, but I don't remember what I traded away, who it was with, things like that. Most of those people I haven't even talked to in years. Staravia from Breakthrough. A bird flying through a field. Not much to say about this one. I don't have any cool story. With most of the commons and uncommons, I don't really have stories associated with them. If it's an older common or uncommon, it might have a story. And you know what I just realized? I have more Pikachu than any other Pokemon because they've printed like over 100 different Pikachus. And Pikachu has not shown up tonight. Dragalge. This is another one of the XY pre-release promos. In fact, being Flashfire, this was the very first alternate art promo numbered pre-release promo. The XY pre-releases happened. I didn't start doing pre-releases till Sun Moon Base. So all of the XY pre-release promos I bought later on online. So I don't really have a fancy story with this one. It's just a little sea dragon chilling on a reef. Not much to say. Oddish, reverse. This is the... I think this is the Unbroken Bonds version. Reverse. Not really cool enough to end on. Just a little plant guy chilling in a forest. It's a cute artwork. I'll give it that. I enjoy this artwork. Alolan Ninetales. Which version of this? Unified Minds. I can't remember if this card was holo or not. Usually I can tell because of the scan lines in the picture, and I can't tell if I see scan lines in there or not, or if those are just bits of shadow. But Alolan Ninetales, I always found Alolan Ninetales an interesting... No, this isn't Unified Minds, I'm sorry. This is Team Up. I've always liked the Alolan version of Ninetales. But, again, as exciting as Alolan Ninetales is, this particular version is not exciting enough for us to end on. Let's keep going. Unidentified Fossil, Team Up. Not really much to say about this. This was after I stopped doing packs and started buying a stack of all the common, uncommon, and regular rares. Mightyena. Another Team Up. Okay, it's really hitting us with the Team Up now. A angry looking but beautiful dull-colored dog standing in a in a field of ice. This is a cool card. I like this arrangement. I like this ice field. Might Yana is an interesting. I don't have too many cool Might Yana cards. Might Yana is a Pokemon that doesn't really get as much attention as it deserves. I'm not sure if they've ever given Might Yana a really fancy card, but I like this art. This art is pretty. This is somewhere halfway between a chill pose and an action pose. Like, he looks like he's getting ready to start something, but he's not actually in the attack yet. So, this is a nice balance between the chill, cute, slice of life arts that most of the cards are, and the dynamic action poses that the cards really should be. Metal Core Barrier, Unbroken Bonds. Nothing really to say about this one. Rockruff, Forbidden Light. This is one of the cuter Rockruff arts. I like the way it's just chilling in front of this house, and it looks like a storm's coming in, and the Rockruff looks scared. But we need something strong to end on, so let's keep going. Escavalier. This is... Gosh, that symbol, that's black and white. That might be Noble Victories. I'm not 100%. Yeah, that's Noble Victories, I think. I have more black and white than the other retro generations, but not a terribly large amount of it. And judging by the shattered-looking background, this is one of the deck hollows. With each set release, they pick two of the regular rares in the set to make as deck exclusive hollows with an alternate shattered glass pattern, and that's what looks like is going on here. Escavalier's an interesting Pokemon, never really been one of my favorites, and with the awkward hollow pattern, you can't really tell what's going on in the background. Timber. This is black and white base. Little tiny, looks like a construction Pokemon. Not really much to say. I never really gave too much attention to or thought to Timber, because they never print. Timber, Girder, Conkeldurr, that line, they never printed in XY or Sun and Moon as far as I'm aware. That's one of the lines that went ignored after its own generation. Purloin. Legendary Treasures. The Radiant Collection. Radiant Collection could be an interesting place to stop, but I know we could do better. But before I move on, wow, the Legendary Treasures. I liked those cards. I liked how shiny they were. And I liked the Legendary Treasures Radiant Collection slightly better than the Generations Radiant Collection, because the uncommons and rares in Legendary Treasures and Generations all got unique hollow patterns that extended across the cards. But in Legendary Treasures, the commons, which didn't get the hollow patterns, they did get shiny stars. Subtle, but they were there. They got very subtle shiny stars across the background, but the Generations Radiant Collection commons didn't get any didn't get any foiling treatment whatsoever. And I think with something called Radiant Collection, you kind of need that, even if it is subtle and not noticed by most people. But Legendary Treasures and Generations, the hollows in those two sets were really fun. And Purloin itself, I've always thought Purloin interesting. He or she always reminded me of a purple version of one of the cats in the musical Cats. I can't remember which one though. And I kind of like the way this one looks like it's just chilling against a starry space background. That's a cool setting for a cat, is space. Sunkern, Cosmic Eclipse, a plant with a face chilling next to a potted plant with plants in the background. There's really not much to say about this card. Cosmic Eclipse is towards the end of when I was collecting regularly, so I really don't have much to say about the singles in that set. I don't really have fun stories attached to them at all. Although there's a little bit of Cosmic Eclipse that was a fun story. We'll get to that if those cards come up. Skiddo, Forbidden Light. A goat covered with leaves, chilling in a field. Not much to say. I do want to raid into this other stream that just started, so let's keep going. I want to end on something really cool. A-Spec. Well, I kind of want to end on a Pokemon, not a trainer, but the A-Specs are really cool. And my nephew and I were actually in a race to see who could get all of them first. And I won on account of, even though there's only 13 A-Specs, they were all released towards the end of Black and White era. And for most of the race, my nephew had more, and we feverishly traded for them at League. But even though he had the advantage through most of it, I ended up winning the race for the A-Specs because, as it turns out, even though most of the A-Specs were under $10 at the time, there was one particular A-Spec card that was valued at over $40, and there was only one guy who had it at League, and it was in his no-trade book, and so my nephew couldn't even try for it. And I just went to TCG Player one day, bought the card, and won the race officially. Well, my nephew didn't like that. He thought it was unfair, so I ended up trading it to him for a bunch of other stuff. I think I got like 3 or 4 cards in that trade. But when he quit Pokemon later on, and he gave me some of the cards and offered to sell me some of the more valuable cards, I ended up trading right back for this one. Well, not trading, but he basically gave it back to me, so there's a cool story with this card. It was mine, I won the race, but then it wasn't mine, but then it was again. There's a few cards like that, which are cards that I got, then traded to my nephew, that then got back when he quit. There's a few cards in my collection like that. Minchino. Fates Collide. This is a reverse. Little rodent. I think that's a chinchilla. Playing with spoons in a garden, maybe? Not much to say. Alolan Sandslash. Well, this is a GX. It's a promo GX. This was one of the last few promos they did for Sun Moon era. I remember I had long since stopped doing packs, but I remember for a while I was paying attention to the box releases and buying all the promos as singles to go along with all the common, uncommon, rare, holo trainer sets I was also doing as singles. So this is one of many promo cards from late Sun Moon that I acquired as a singles. It's pretty cool looking. Like most non-full art GXs, it's a dynamic action pose. I like it. I like the color scheme. This is a pretty relaxing color scheme. This is a nice chill card to end on. Pun maybe intended. Yeah, I think this is a nice chill card to end on. So let's go ahead and get ready for our raid. And let's see if I can do this while leaving the card exposed on the screen. Okay. We are going, as usual for a Thursday stream, we are going to raid Piano Rogues. Give them some love. They're very talented. I'm probably going to do this format again tomorrow, just because I want to keep working on and developing this format a little more. Eventually, if I get more viewers in these Pokemon streams, I may start actually showing off the actual cards from my book, but probably not till I can start running the face cam again, because I'll need the face cam in order to do that. Plus, by having the scans, you can see the image nice and clean, whereas having to manipulate the book in front of the camera might be difficult. I probably will end up showing off my Eevee book at the end of the summer, but for now, I think this is a cleaner format. It's to just use my scans. Anyway, I'm rating Piano Rogues, as we usually do on Thursdays, because Thursdays is the only day they stream. Oh, invalid. I misspelled it. Let's try that again. Alright, the raid is initiated. Have a good night, everyone. And I'll see you either tomorrow or Saturday with some more Pokemon. And I think we're going to go a bit longer next time, because we really didn't get through much at all. There's over 6,000 cards in my collection. So you didn't even see the tip of the iceberg. You saw like the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg. Have a good night, everyone.